So y'all playing my fucking team. So y'all got to deal with fucking me. What's happening, y'all? Welcome to the Basement Sports Network Dolphins pregame show. I'm going to be y'all host for the rest of the season, Royal Shepherd, and I'm joined today by some of our Dolphins crew. My man JMV. JMV, how you doing?
We're doing good. 3-game losing streak, but optimistic.
You terrible. You by yourself, probably. We got my boy 406 calling us all the way from across the border. 416,
Yes,
how you doing, my boy?
Doing good.
And finally, rounding out the panel, we got the host who don't want to host, my boy Nando. Nando, how you doing, bro?
What's good, my man? I'm stressing a little bit. I wish I was more optimistic like JMV, but must-win territory we're at.
So we haven't done a Dolphin stream in a while. So one of the things JMV suggests that we do, and I thought it was a good idea. Let's take a look back before we take a look forward. You guys haven't been here for the last 3 weeks for the Dolphins. The Dolphins have lost 3 straight games to the Chargers, the 49ers, and the Buffalo Bills. So the toughest stretch of y'all season. Y'all are 0-3 so far. JMV, since you brought it up, we're going to start with you, bro. Give me your thoughts on those 3 games or pick a game.
Well, in the 3 games, I thought we had some boneheaded. I think Mike McDaniel thought his balls were bigger than they are, and his play calling were just let's torch the middle of the field consistently because it's what has been season. And teams are playing us. You know, they're playing drop back coverage with the linebackers, and we never adjusted. I felt like until San Francisco Tua missed some throws that he should have made, but we never really adjusted until the Buffalo Bills game, which I thought the play calling was much better, except for the lack of execution on 3rd down and short, which we continuously passed the ball because the Bills were playing single safeties. And I thought we should have ran. At least not throw every single time. I think that cost us the game. 8-point lead in the 4th quarter, and we blew it. But I am optimistic. I like what I saw against the Bills. That's probably the toughest game we're going to face in the playoffs because, well, them or Kansas City, if we make it, knock on wood. But I'm optimistic. I like what I saw with the Bills. There's some things we got to clean up on offense and on defense, specifically on defense. But there's not much you could do with the lack of talent we have on defense. And Josh Boyer, let me just Josh Boyer, that he's got to go. But
yeah, fire that man. I do agree with you that of those 3 losses, the one that I put most squarely on Mike McDaniel's shoulders is the Buffalo Bills one, because in a game where you're getting not just solid, more than solid production out of your run game, he had more than enough opportunities to go to it on those 3rd and short situations, and he kept throwing the ball, and that just was not working against the Bills defense. So 416, let's come to you. Give me your thoughts on the last 3 games. Pick a game. I don't care how you want to do it, but go back and tell me what you thought of the last 3 weeks for the Dolphins.
I'm just going to say why we lost in the 3, just because I think that's where we're at. We lost the last 3. So first one, that's all on Tua. I thought the defense played well. I thought McDaniel was scheming and he didn't get out-coached or anything like that. I thought that Tua was just missing wide-open guys. And to be honest, I wasn't too worried just because, like, accuracy is one of the things he does well. So it's like one of those things where it's like, if that's going to be how we lose, like, it's not going to happen again. I don't feel like worried about that or anything like that. So that's why I lost first game. That was on Tua, and I would put that all on him. I'm known as a Tua guy, and I would say, dude, you sucked. He was fucking dog shit. Like, let's just say what it is. The Chargers game, while it was on Tua as well, McDaniel got out-coached. He got out-schemed by Brandon Staley, and I thought that receivers weren't getting open. And with that, Tua needs to check down a little bit more in that game. He's trying to throw it deep every play. You have checkdowns to Mostert and Durham Smythe wide open, but you're throwing to double coverage to Tyreek Hill, which, like, I understand is Tyreek Hill, but dude, take your yards. And I can't believe I'm saying that about Tua Tagovailoa to check down more, but that's kind of where we're at right now. So for me, it's Tua the first game. It was a combination of Tua and McDaniel in that same game, as well as the defense a little bit too. And in the Buffalo game, I'm worried about McDaniel and I'm worried about Josh Boyer because those guys had 2 major issues. McDaniel needs to run the ball more, especially on 3rd and short. That was ridiculous. And Josh Boyer, listen, there's a lot of injuries, so it's hard to get critical of him. But the issue is now the issues that we're seeing have nothing to do with personnel. It has to do with the coverage that you're calling. So when that's the case, that's on you. Not to mention the receivers dropping the ball has been a major issue, and I think we're second in the league in drops, second to Buffalo, actually, funnily enough. But we're second in the entire league in drops. When you have Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle, that should not be the case. And they're second and 3rd, respectively, in drops by players. That cannot be the case, especially when you're dropping touchdowns. I'm looking at you, Tyreek. And for you, you're the number one paid receiver, not top 3, not top 5. You are the number one paid wide receiver in the NFL. And for some people, they're saying it's a tough catch. If you're the best receiver in the NFL, which you claim to be, and you talk shit like you are, catch the ball. So that's kind of what happened for me in the Buffalo game.
Didn't Sherfield drop the other one in Buffalo?
Sherfield
that was even worse.
That was even worse.
That was worse.
Cedric Wilson had a drop early in the game. You could argue Tyreek Hill had another drop where it was a contested catch, but it still hit him in the hand, stuff like that. So drops are an issue. I actually thought Tua played quite well in that game. He had like 6 drops, and he still went 17 for 30. He should have had 3 touchdowns. Not to mention Braylon Sanders, 1, why is he on the field? 2, what are you doing on that route? Instead of just running his route, catching a perfect ball, he tries to turn around and catch a 50-50 like he's fucking Randy Moss. You're not him, bro. Like, what are you doing?
I think he lost track of that ball.
And
I think
there was a point in the route where he lost track of the ball.
I do too, because you could have just ran, catch it over your shoulder. That might be a tutty. So with that being said, that's kind of my thoughts on like why we lost every game. I would say Tua lost us the 49ers game pretty easily. The second game was a combination of McDaniel and Tua. And then the last game, I think, was on the defense and the head coach.
Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I got a bit of a distraction in my background. That is my wife.
Yes, sir.
The biggest Dolphin fan in the family. And behind me, she came and gave me some water. She put it in a Dolphins cup.
Let's go.
Let's go. She put it on.
Yeah, bro. Like that's the squad. So that's what she
she must be excited for the Christmas game, baby. Yes, sir.
She is very excited for that Christmas game. Unfortunately, we won't be down there to kind of go in person because we're going to see my mom. But yeah, she's very excited to see. Bro,
put that on.
Away.
Put it on, Royal.
All right, bro.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro. All right. So, Nando, we're gonna kick it to you, my boy. Give me your thoughts on the last 3 Dolphins games.
I mean, listen. First of all, the boys are spot on with their takes on that. I would agree with the fault being on Tua of the first game and a little bit of McDaniel and Tua of the second game. I was stressed out after those 2 games, man. Not gonna lie, I really wanted that Chargers win really, really bad because I knew the world was watching. Everybody wanted Tua over Herbert, and Herbert outplayed him, and that is, you gotta admit it, man. Like we gotta take our L, man. Herbert looked like a fucking stud. He still does, man, and we just got to move past it. We got to move past it, and I'm just glad that Tua was able to put that behind him and showed me something to look forward to going forward. I thought he played well against Buffalo. Obviously, some drops in there made the stats look a little bit iffy, but, I like what I saw, and I like that we did see something from the running game. I wish we ran it more with Mostert. In the first quarter, the dude was balling, and then Mike McDaniel kind of got away from that. I didn't really like that. I like that Jaylen Waddle got into the end zone because I was worried about him a little bit. So there was some signs of life there that I like going forward that makes me less worried for these final 3 games because of what I saw from the offensive thing, but the defense has got to be better, man. I did like what I saw from Jalen Phillips, dude. This dude is taking a step in the right direction, and I think he's going to be a problem as he develops. So I'm optimistic about the offense, but the defense got to give me something, man, especially these 3 games. Aaron Rodgers coming off a win. These boys need to win out. We're going to get their best ball. So defense got to be ready. And if there's anybody that knows how to pick apart defense, it's Aaron Rodgers. So we got our hands full coming up.
No, hell yeah. Like, I do kind of want to get into the Tua thing and the Jalen Phillips thing because I gave Jalen Phillips a lot of shit at the beginning of the year because he was like almost getting home. Mm-hmm. And like for these past couple of games, Jalen Phillips has been an absolute stud. But let's start with Tua, JMV. Everybody was, kind of on Tua's dick when he was having all that success. And then we saw him get into these games, and now you've heard a little bit more criticism of him and, kind of his pitfalls. Are you still as bullish on Tua as you were earlier, or now has that kind of changed a little bit after what you've seen these past 3 games?
Not at all. Not at all. I think Tua is the franchise quarterback. I'm not worried about those 2 games. I think when you go across all the top quarterbacks in the league, nobody has 17 perfect games. That just doesn't happen. You saw Joe Burrow at the beginning of the year struggle and throw the 4 interceptions. We've seen Patrick Mahomes struggle. He threw a 3 interception game as well. These things happen. The best out of the quarterback doesn't come out on a week-to-week basis. It's just mostly about consistency. That's the thing I want to see the most. He's been pretty consistent the majority of the year. Granted, that 5-game stretch was against some questionable defenses, to say the least. And yes, he needs to perform when the lights shine bright against the best defenses. And Green Bay's another game where they need to win. They're not out of the playoff hunt yet. They got to win out. And the Dolphins need to win 2 out of the last 3 to get into the playoffs for the first time and since Matt Moore got his ass whooped against the Steelers. But I have no worries and no doubts about Tua. It's just the first year in an offense, first year of Mike McDaniel and his offense and him as a play caller, that he needs to grow as well. And you've seen the growing pains throughout the season as a play caller. And Tua needs to check. I know he got a lot of shit his first 2 years, but at some point you need to check down. Like the throwing 10 and 15 yards every single play, that can't happen. And especially when you play these good defenses and they're dropping linebackers into coverage. You got to run the ball, obviously to bring the safeties up, and we need to check down. It's not just throw deep every single time. And I don't think there's been a balance throughout the entire year in any aspect of the game. Like as this Buffalo Bills game, we started running the ball off hard. It was working, and we went away from it. There's never been a game where there's balance between the pass game and the run game. That hasn't happened yet. And I think that's something that needs to get cleaned up before we head into hopefully the playoffs.
Yeah, but to be honest, I think that Buffalo game was the most balanced that I've seen the Dolphins offense, where there was a good mix of running pass. I just think that at the wrong time, like they were still calling and that's something that's been a recurring theme in everybody's comments, is that they should have ran the ball a little bit more. I guess 416, my question isn't more so about Tua himself. It's like it is, but it's like it ain't just the throwing the ball down the field. It's when shit goes off script that Tua hasn't been great. And that's something that you're going to see a lot more of, the better defense that you play, where your first option, those timing routes are not going to be there. And so you need to be able to make plays outside of that. And I guess that's part of the game that we haven't seen. Has that raised the level of concern for you in Tua's game in these past couple of games?
I wouldn't say concern, but I will say it's something that you definitely want to see more of. I think it gets lost on people that this is his fourth offense in 3 years, third offense in 3 years, and off-script plays are off-script plays, but they still have a part in the offense. There is still things that are in place that you need to do when things go off script in terms of receivers and connection. That's where chemistry comes in. You'll see Mahomes, he'll go off script, and then Kelsey will be like, oh shit, let me get open for my quarterback and stuff like that. So I think there's stuff like that to keep in mind. With Tua, I just want to see more growth out of it. It's not concerning, because I think there is a level to which he can do it. It's definitely not enough or as consistent as you would want it to be, because sometimes he just has to give up and go out of bounds because he's not built like some of these other quarterbacks. But for me, it's not something I would be concerned about. That's not the word I would use. But it's definitely something you want to see growth with, because I think in terms of being a pocket passer, accurate, all that type of stuff, I think he's nailed it. I think he's right there. He's right up there with the best of them when it comes to those sort of things. So I think you're right when you ask me the question, Royal, where it's you see some growth there. But if I wouldn't say I'm concerned about what I've already seen so far, and I'm concerned about him not being able to do in the future. Would you like to see it a little bit sooner? Maybe, yeah. But again, the third offense in the third year, you're getting new receivers every year. So I think it's just, as soon as he has some consistency with the play calling and with the coach and everything around him, as soon as we see that, I think it will all grow.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I kind of don't want to hear that shit about fourth offense in a couple of years, because when he was hot and when he was rolling, I didn't hear none of that shit. I didn't hear nothing about that. I just heard he finally got a coach who loves him and cares for his feelings.
It's his
shit like
fifth
that.
offensive coordinator in 3 years.
Don't care.
No, fair. But I was saying that
it was all good a month and a half ago, brother. That's what I'm saying.
I was saying that specific to the off-script plays. I wouldn't say that in general. I'm saying that those points I just made are specific to off-script plays. I would never say that in general, because you're right. McDaniel has been so good for Tua in terms of I can't put that down in terms of what he's playing as an overall player. But for
the checkdowns would help him too. The checkdowns would help him with the off-script shit, when the first and second read are not there. And something that he did so much throughout the first 2 years of his career, I don't remember the last time this motherfucker checked down. I can't remember the last time Tua checked down this season. That's a problem.
The only one I can remember is the Mostert play in the Bills game. But before that, I don't remember when Mostert took it 20 yards after the catch. But after that, before that catch in the Buffalo game, I don't remember. He didn't do it in the Chargers game or the San Francisco game.
I think Jeff Wilson caught one for a couple, when he first got hot, if I'm not mistaken. And he got like 16 out of it. I mean, there goes to show you.
Yeah, and that's when we first got him.
Was that a check down or was that okay? Was that a design throw to him? Like
the touchdown was a design throw, but the one he's saying was a check down.
Okay. So Nando, you're the most level-headed out of here. Both of them motherfuckers, I expect Homer answers every time I ask them something. So I'm gonna phrase this question to you in a different way. On a scale of 1, I'll say a scale of 1 to 5. Kind of like where are you now in terms of concern with Tua's play over these past couple of weeks? Because, like I said, we saw him play very well to start the season off, and then all of a sudden you hit these last 3 games, and then it all falls off the wagon. Like, so where are you in your level of concern for Tua?
I'm at a 3.5, not a 3, but a 3.5. Reason I say that, I think 4 is too high. Level of concern, right? Level of concern. So 3.5. I'm in the middle, man. I'm in the middle because I thought he's played great, no doubt about that. He's played like an MVP candidate all year. He got us the wins. I love that he got us a big enough cushion. The fact that these games, like, we can still bounce back and get to the playoffs. I love that. You know, you got to give him credit where credit is due. The dude is balled out. People say, you know, oh, he's got this weapon and this weapon. Like, listen, that you got to have a good quarterback to hit these guys. Like, at the end of the day, like, yeah, Tyreek Hill says he could play with anybody. Tua's been balling, but these last 3 games are the games that everybody was watching. Everybody had this circled. Everybody was saying, like, yo, these are the games where we will find out who the real Miami Dolphins are. And I think Tua folded on 2 of those 3 games. So I gotta be hard on him. Like, I will praise him and I will give him all the credit, but sometimes he has to ball. And when the world is watching, that is especially when you want to ball the hell out. So credit to him. He had a little bounce back game against Buffalo. But I say 3.5 because the season is still going. He's got to finish. He has an opportunity here to get the Dolphins to the playoffs. And to me, it's a playoff win or bust. It's not playoff or bust. Like, we need to at least see 1 win. I think this team could get more than 1 win, but the very bare minimum is 1 playoff win. And I still think Tua is going to be able to take us there. I still have belief in him, though. Listen, I didn't like what I saw those 2 games, so I'm a little bit concerned. But by no means, I'm not out on Tua. I still believe he's that guy, and I think he can play in big-time games, and I think he will deliver down the stretch for sure.
So as somebody who's not, I wouldn't necessarily call myself I guess you guys have heard this a lot. I'm not a Tua stan. I'm not a Tua hater. Like, I'm just kind of somebody in the middle. So I know that Tua isn't what he was these last 3 games, and he isn't what he was in those first couple games. He's somewhere in the middle of those things, and that's a quarterback that you can win with. Like, as a quarterback that when things are going well, they're going really well, and he's lighting your defense's ass up with dots all over the field. When things are breaking down, he still has areas of improvement, but we've seen situations where Tua has overcome some adversity in ways that he didn't last year. What I do want to note, though, the Dolphins need 2 games to get into the playoffs, right? That would put them at 10-7, which is their same record with Brian Flores. So I think it's really interesting that Nando say that he needs a playoff win, because I'm with that. Because 10-7 would have got y'all to the playoffs with Brian Flores this year too. But I need a win to be sold on Mike McDaniel. I know I said we're going to Jaylen Phillips, but Mike McDaniel needs some of this smoke too, JMB. Mm-hmm. What's your level of concern with Mike McDaniel? Because he looked like a genius. And now he's kind of faced up against some better coaches, some better defenses. Offense not clicking as much, and some of the chinks in the armor are starting to show. So where are you with Mike McDaniel?
No, I'm not concerned with Mike McDaniel either. Listen, this Dolphins team has a lot of... Huh?
Of course not.
No, this team has things that concern me. I've never seen a team win when you don't utilize a fucking tight end in the entire season. Like, that's a problem. We don't have 1 tight end on this team that we can utilize. Smite is the only one that can block.
You have Mike Gesicki.
That man is dog shit.
So, okay, so is that on? He wasn't dog shit before. Like, is that on Mike McDaniel to find ways to get Mike Gesicki involved in the offense?
You've known me for a few years. I have never liked Mike Gesicki.
Absolutely.
I don't like a tight end that cannot block. This guy,
objectively, in an offense like this, they're supposed to be able to find ways to make him effective as a pass catcher. And that's on Mike McDaniel to me.
That I agree with. I do agree with that.
But I'm sorry. I'm not going to interrupt you anymore, but go ahead and give me your thoughts.
No, but as I was saying, there's things in this team that concern me, from the lack of depth in the secondary, our entire core of linebackers. That worries me. Our front 4, I got no problems with the acquisition of Bradley Chubb. As much as people have been criticizing him because he got paid all that money and he has not been getting home, he is the reason that Jaylen Phillips is getting home, and he is the reason that Christian Wilkins has always been good, but Christian Wilkins is actually getting to the quarterback, which is not something that he was doing in the past. He's making everybody's life easier in the front four.
They're not even doubling Chubb, though.
No, but he gets doubled from time to time, but not with consistency. Not with consistency. But the linebacker core is a problem. Our defensive coordinator is a problem. But when you ask me about Mike McDaniel, there's zero level of concern with him. It's just about, the growing pains as a rookie head coach and learning and not getting too high on himself and so much trust on the offense and going for a fourth down on your side of the territory, which is there's been some questionable decisions. Some have gone his way. For the most part, actually, they've gone his way. But if they don't go your way, that is a problem. Like, you're giving the other team the ball at the 33 versus you could have punted it and given it to them at the 15 early in the second quarter. So those are things he's got to learn from, the third and short, not rely so much on Tua in the pass game and Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle and run the damn ball. But tight end, the tight end in our offense is a problem. Right guard and right tackle, those are problems. Left guard and right tackle, those are problems. But in terms of Mike McDaniel,
y'all have no idea who plays where on your offensive line. That shit changes from week to week.
It's been pretty consistent the last few. Robert Jones is a bucket of mid, but he's better than Liam. So, and Shell.
That's a pretty low bar to put him. Liam is a pretty low bar to have out there in terms of offensive linemen.
I know we all remember Jesse Davis.
Oh my
God, bro!
Austin Jackson, Liam Eichenberg, and Jesse Davis.
I'm getting PTSD thinking about goddamn Jesse Davis, bro. I know Tua like shudders every time he hear that motherfucking name. 416. Talk to me about Mike McDaniel, bro.
All right, so I was one of the biggest McDaniel guys coming in terms of like hiring him when we were going through our head coach search process. Now, here's what I'll say. Before the last 3 games, I would have said he's done no wrong. He's done literally nothing wrong, and he's been great doing whatever he can to help this team win. I will say in the last 3 games, there have been some things that come up. Before I get into it, I will say like growing pains are expected with a rookie head coach. I was going to have, it's also his first time calling plays, so that's also something that's expected. Now, while in general, obviously, I'm very okay with what Mike McDaniel has done, I still have a lot of confidence in him. I think he's going to be here for a long time. With that being said, there are some things that he definitely needs to clean up because there are some times in some certain situations where his play calling has been rough. I remember earlier in the year, and we haven't been in that situation again, but earlier in the year, the clock management was horrible. His timeout usage is horrible. Something that people don't talk about, he's not getting the play into Tua early enough. It's ridiculous. Sometimes Tua's scrambling to get to the line because the play's not coming in early enough, which I think is on Mike McDaniel as well, because you see Tua get to the line and he doesn't really have a lot of time to get people set or anything like that because the play call is getting in late. So that's something else to keep in mind too. And these are all things that I think are very fixable, which is what I like. There are issues and there are things that he needs to work on, but the thing is they're all fixable. There's nothing that's like non-negotiable with him or that aren't possible to be fixed, or it's just like he's stubborn or something like that. There's nothing like that, at least from what I've seen. So to me, the fact that it's all fixable is huge, but we'll see.
On third down shit is pretty.
Yeah, no, 3rd and 1, we're running for 7.5 yards per carry, and we're not giving the ball to the running back. It's
that's pretty stubborn. 416 to keep passing the ball in those situations.
That's fair. That's fair. That is stubborn. But I think
his excuse was Buffalo was playing single high safety, so I had to take the opportunity to throw the ball. But we throw it to the outside to Tyreek Hill. In a very 50-50 ball, it's a tight fucking window. Like, if you're going to take advantage of a single high safety, that's not the play you run.
That's a fact.
Nando, give me your thoughts on Mike McDaniel. Has he been the man of your dreams like JMV, or has he kind of shown himself to kind of be falling down the pecking order of all-time great Dolphins head coaches recently?
Listen, man, I'm a little bit iffy on Mike McDaniel, man. Everything, first of all, the start he got us to was amazing. He deserves a lot of credit for that, but I think they're showing a lot of stubbornness lately, man. Honestly, I've been very, first of all, his decision, his play calling has definitely been an issue. In the beginning, it was a little bit of clock management stuff, like before the half, a lot of miscommunication with Tua with the timeouts. But lately it's just like his 3rd and 1 calls, his 4th and 1 calls. Like, I'm not really liking it, man. And at the end of the day, I'm very concerned. I mean, if you're 8-3 and now you're 8-6, and a lot of those 3 games, like 2 of those fall on, I mean, all 3 of them kind of fall on Mike McDaniel in some way, shape, or form. So, like I said, the same way I feel about Tua is the same way I feel about McDaniel, man. It's like it's concerning because those 3 games is how everyone's looking at you. You got to bounce back and you got to give me a playoff win. Then I'll be able to evaluate. But I'm a little bit concerned, man. I really am. I'm not so high on Mike McDaniel, basically, from what I've seen these last 3 games.
Wait, Waddle didn't make the Pro Bowl?
Did he not?
Nope.
Who made it?
Nope.
Chase
Jamar Chase made it over him.
And they say Tua didn't make it either?
Tua didn't make it either, which, by the way, that's fine because, again, Tua gets hated. Whatever. Who gives a fuck? That's not even surprising to me. Tua not making it isn't even surprising to me. Jaylen fucking Waddle didn't make the Pro Bowl?
That's crazy.
Are you fucking with me? What the fuck?
Yeah.
So
who all from the Dolphins made it? Who all made it?
Who had the most votes?
It was Armstead, Reek. Yeah, but fan votes only count for a third, so the coaches and the players both left him off. Jesus fucking Christ.
Armstead,
again,
and they voted X.
And X, bro.
Yeah, they got.
Because players, they rock with X. Like, they rock with them. They're going to vote him. My issue is, Tua, we know gets hated on, whatever. Christian Wilkins, he's the most underrated defensive tackle in the league. He should have made it too. But Jaylen Waddle did not make the Pro Bowl.
And little Jamar Chase, who's missed most of the season.
Jesus Christ.
I can't believe even Xavien Howard made it. I think Xavien Howard is a little bit washed up.
I got to Xavien Howard take one talk about him. People are saying he's washed. I think he is a little. I think he's regressed, but I think he's been misutilized completely.
Yo, this dude.
Let's do. Y'all give me a second. I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
Listen, X. I feel like X hacks on every play, and he's still.
I'll talk what I've seen with X. And listen, I'm not saying that he hasn't regressed. That's not my point. My thing with X is that he's a press man corner. That's how he thrives. He's not fast. We all know he's not fast. And we've heard him say the quote where he's like, I make receivers play to my speed. The way he does that is by jamming them at the line and being physical. You can't do that when you're playing 12 yards, soft coverage.
That's a fact.
Also, you can't do that when you're having him drop into a zone every fucking play. He's a press man corner. That's how he thrives. When he can jump the ball because he's playing tight to the receiver. You cannot do that when you're playing 12. So I think he's being misutilized. And I also think that there's so much pressure on him to be this corner because he's playing with Justin fucking Bethel and Noah Benogany on the other side. So there's so much pressure on him.
Then the entire DB room is in fucking shambles, bro. So it's kind of like you need him to kind of play above his skis in order to help sustain that unit, and he has not been able to accomplish that. Like that's kind of why people think he's coming. Yeah, I think that's why people have been down on X this year. Is because the expectations have been ratcheted up without all those other guys in there, and it's just kind of like, what do you really expect him to do?
Exactly.
I know we've talked a lot about offense. Like, let's pivot to the defense a little bit. We're gonna go the other way this time and start with Nando. I'm tired of kicking it to him last. Nando, give me your thoughts on where the defense has been over the course of the past 3 weeks, and do you think that some of the issues that they have are correctable?
Man, I wish it is correctable if we had our quote unquote leader with the team, man. If we had if we had our captain Byron Jones, if we had him, man, I think it'll all be fixable, man. Because then you could have Xavien and him play the way they're supposed to play. Everything else will just be icing on the cake from there. But because we don't have Byron Jones, I'm concerned about these DBs, man. I'm seeing a lot of flags. I'm seeing a lot of people get beat. Kader Kohu, like, shout out to him, undrafted. The dude plays like a dog. I love it. But he hacks on nearly every damn play, and it's just a matter of fact if it gets called or not, bro. Same thing with Xavien Howard, but that's because he's playing, like Jay said, he's playing like 10 yards, 12 yards out to start with, and he's not a fast guy. So he had, X doesn't get called for it a lot. Credit to him. That's a little superstar call that he gets. And I want to see some sacks, man. I want to see some sacks. I'm tired of getting home and getting close, but not being able to sack. And then also tackling, bro. Like, we cannot fucking tackle. I don't understand. Like, this is like fundamentals that they teach you. And I feel like no matter what team and who comes aboard to this defense, I feel like I've been saying, like, yo, why can't we tackle for so many fucking years now that I'm just sick of this shit. But shout out to Christian Wilkins and shout out to Jaylen Phillips for what those two have shown me throughout the course of the year. Like, I love it. Like, I have no no concerns. I want to see Jaylen Holland step up. I know a lot of people are on him. I still believe that he is awesome. I saw some people calling him a bust, which I think is ridiculous. But I want to see a little bit more from Jaylen Holland, and I think he'll show up. But Phillips and Wilkins, they're the only two people that I'm like, yeah, everybody else, I have something bad to say about every single one of them.
Yeah, I do think I agree. Like I think I agree with the people that say that Jaylen Holland has regressed a little bit. Like it just feels like that. Like
it's the same thing with X, bro. How much do you want them to do? He's playing slot corner. He's playing free safety. He's playing strong safety. He's played outside corner for some snaps. There's so much pressure on those two guys to make up for everything that they've lost. So it's like it's understandable.
No, that's facts. And to the Cater Kohu point, like for a game, he could be good. You know what I mean? When you're playing him more than that one game, people start to realize, hey guys, that's Cater Kohu over there. let's just throw at him. 416 has been talking a lot. JMV, we're gonna come to you about the defense, and then we'll let 416 wrap us up on it. Give me your thoughts on the defense the past couple of games.
Our defense is dog shit, bro. There's nothing else to say. I really don't think anything is correctable. I don't think Byron Jones is coming back this year, and I think with the talent that we're being given and the dumbass that we got on the sideline calling plays, third and long, and we're playing guys fucking 15 yards back. I don't understand. I don't understand the prevent defense that multiple times he's done, especially when it's like 3rd and 15 where they're in the red zone. We got 7 people in the end zone, and the middle is just wide fucking open. I don't understand what Josh Boyer is doing. He's got to go. I think that's the biggest problem we got. But I mean, shout out to Jaylen Phillips. That man is a baller. I think Jaylen Holland, as Jay said, when we fix the weaknesses within our defense, it's going to help Jaylen Holland. He has a lot of pressure on him. He's basically the only safety in that backfield the entire season. Since Brandon Jones went down, he's the only safety.
Brandon Jones is underrated, and that's what we found out now. Like he was.
We got that in the comments from Underdogs Road. He said Brandon Jones being out hurt our safety room a lot more than I thought. I thought so too, because I'm not a person who thinks Brandon Jones can cover. I think he's a defensive end in the safety's body. All he does is blitz and sack quarterback. So but to his credit. Like some plays he was asked to cover, sometimes he was asked to cover. He did a pretty good job of that. And yeah, it's just been a real struggle to kind of replace that kind of production. I don't know if you were finished with your thoughts before.
We haven't even blitzed the safety since Brandon Jones went down. That's not something we do anymore.
You need as many motherfuckers in coverage as you can get back there with the Dolphins right now. JMV, wrap us up with the defensive talk right quick, man. Well,
hey, man, I'm telling you, the defense is dog shit, and we got no draft picks next year. So, I mean, Ross better use all the money we got to help.
I meant 416, and I said JMV because I was looking at you.
No, the one thing I have to say is, what the fuck does Josh Boyer do except put more bodies on the defensive line? Like, what else does he do? Like, either put more motherfuckers on the line of scrimmage.
This is kind of a conversation that I wanted to get to in vain with this conversation anyway. Like, Josh Boyer slander is welcomed right now, because what are some of the main issues that you have with Josh Boyer 416?
Well, if anyone can give me an answer, what does he do? What is any other adjustment that he does other than put more bodies on the line of scrimmage? Because I haven't seen it. Shit goes haywire with our defense. Whatever scheme he's cooked up by watching film, he goes, fuck it. Put more motherfuckers on the line of scrimmage. That's on defense, bro. That's all a blitz on Madden, and let's hope. That's what you're doing right now, man. It's terrible.
It's either 7 at the line. It's either 7 at the line or 7 in the secondary. Yeah, there's no in between.
No in between, bro. This guy has never run a 3-4 or 4-3 defense in his fucking life. It's ridiculous. It's actually nuts. That's all I got to say, bro. It's Josh Boyer. Like, listen, we got guys. Phillips is a guy. Jaylen Holland, a guy. Bradley Chubb has been great. Christian Wilkins is a top 5 defensive tackle in the league, and I think he's top 3.
Melvin Ingram has been solid for you guys too.
He's been balling.
Melvin Ingram has been really good for you. So it's like, I understand the frustration that you guys have with Boyer. Like, it has been like mind-numbing to watch some. Oh, my God, Cap for life.
Yeah, you missed it.
You missed it, Cap, bro.
The crazy thing is, when you think about the Dolphins being ranked last in almost every statistical category on the defensive side of the ball, and when we talk about the lack of talent that we got, but you see teams ranked ahead of us.
Matt Jones made the Pro Bowl?
No, his first year.
Hold
on. Yeah, he made it his rookie year.
Oh, I know that, but I don't care about it. I thought he was saying Mac Jones made the Pro Bowl this year. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
I thought the same shit. I just had to look it up.
No, the thing I was saying is when we criticize the lack of talent that we got on the defensive side of the ball, but when you look at the teams ranked ahead of us in every statistical category, like the Texans, for example, or the Lions, there's no reason with their lack of talent on defense for them to be ranked ahead of us.
I think what happens
falls on Josh Boyer.
I think what happens is that even though the Dolphins have a lack of talent, Josh Boyer takes a magnifying glass and puts it on that lack of talent. So you know what I mean? Like the fact that you have Cater Cole, who is he's who he is, he's cool, whatever.
Let's put up and comer. Like that's
but let's put him in single coverage over here by himself.
You're talking about Cater Cole. You're pretty monogamy on Stephon Diggs, man on man, single coverage, no safety help. What are you talking about?
Listen, bro. That's to my point. Like Boyer is taking, questionably talented players, and he's putting them in positions not to succeed. Nando, I do want to get your thoughts on Boyer. See where you are on him. Are you more optimistic than these two on Boyer? I don't think anybody is.
No, I'm not. I'm not at all. Listen, I don't even think he deserves any more than what these men gave him, bro. I'm out on him. We need a new guy. He sucks. He can't pivot. He can't adjust. Byron Jones not here. Find other ways, and you have yet to find other fucking ways. Like, pack his ass up. Let's not even spend time with him anymore.
No, let me say this again. Noah Igbenogany was man on man. No safety help with Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs. Oh my God.
Crazy shit.
I can't fuck with the Josh Boyer shit. I'm not gonna hold y'all. It makes me understand. It makes me appreciate Flores. It makes me, it does a little bit, but it makes me appreciate.
Any of you guys got Christian Watson in fantasy? Because I know Noah's gonna be on him, and Christian Watson's gonna light his ass up today. This weekend.
Rodgers knows exactly how to pick apart our defense. I already know that. He's gonna be like,
you throw it short. It's gonna be every fucking play.
Just because he knows, don't mean he gonna do it. Like
actually, not real quick. Let me say this.
He actually throwing receivers under the bus after the last game. God, bro, like in his post game interview, he was talking. Yeah, I didn't like that either. Like he was talking about kind of the miscommunication throw that he had. I forgot the receiver. Well, he was like, well, if you want to, if you want to catch more touchdowns, you got to run the right routes. Like I hate that shit. Like I just don't like it. But go ahead, JMV. I'm sorry, 416. Y'all niggas didn't need to change y'all name.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
I got confused before too, bro.
Bro. 416.
Let's go into the Chargers game. All right. So we know the bane of this defense is cover zero defense, short throws. Bro, this whole fucking year, all the Chargers have put on tape, and I'm a fucking little college fucking student in Canada, bro. All the Chargers have put on tape is throwing short. That's all they do. Like watch the fucking games. That's all they did. And then we went into that game, did not change a single fucking thing. We did not change a single fucking thing. We still ran the cover zero blitz. We still ran 12 yards of coverage. And Herbert, other than that one throw at the end of the game, just picked us apart underneath. And here's my point. So either Josh Boyer didn't watch film, which I just can't, there's no way an NFL coach didn't watch film, whatever.
Unless
he was just stubborn enough to think it was still going to work. How the fuck did you still think that was going to work? Oh,
he played him on Matt. He played him on Madden and franchise the night before and thought he had it down pat. He thought he knew exactly what was going on. All right, so we've done enough looking back for now. Let's look forward. Jingle bells, bitches. The Green Bay Packers are coming to Miami. I'm not gonna lie. I talked shit earlier in the season. I'm not very confident in Green Bay's chances in this game. I just look, we won the last two games against the Rams and the Bears. But y'all bitches have lost 3 straight. Far wrong you. But you know what I mean? Green Bay is not a good team. I don't expect us to make it to the playoffs. So I want to start with some positives for the Dolphins. Let's start with Nando. Nando, give me what you think the Dolphins' biggest advantage is versus Green Bay.
Running the ball. I think Green Bay does. I think Green Bay can cover the pass well from what I've seen. But I think that they give up a lot of yardage in the run game. Cam Akers did get loose, and previously before that, there's running backs that have had success against the Packers defense. So Raheem Mostert got 17 carries. That's the most I've seen him get in probably the whole season. Ahmed got some touches in there. I think we're going to see a little bit more of both of them. And McDaniel finally gave more touches to his running back. So I think that's our way to kind of, keep things going and beat Green Bay, attack Green Bay's defense is the run game. So I look for Mostert and Ahmed to get some heavy usage on this Christmas Day game.
Yeah, your eyes are not lying. Green Bay gives up almost 150 yards on the damn ground a game, which is absurd. I don't know where it ranks in the league, though. JMV, I'm still looking at 416 talking to JMV, but I'm gonna act like I didn't do that. JMV, tell me what you believe Miami's biggest advantage is over Green Bay this weekend.
No, Nando hit it. It is to run the ball and run the ball effectively and consistently, and that will set up the play action where we can eventually try to pick apart their safeties with the deeper shots. Like it can set it up, but we got to run the ball against Green Bay more than we did against Buffalo, and not go away from it as the game progresses. That's the biggest thing. But I think this game is going to be close. I don't know if anyone here thinks it's going to be a blowout or if the Dolphins are going to win comfortably. I think this is going to be a field goal game, much like the Detroit Lions game. And that's how I think this game's going to go.
Is Jeff Wilson coming back?
He practiced today.
He should.
Yeah, if Jeff Wilson comes back, then that does a lot for you guys' chances of coming out of this game on top. 416, give me your thoughts. What do you think the Dolphins' biggest advantage is over Green Bay?
I'm actually going with the run game, but on the defensive side, I think we've been a top 5 rushing defense, starting with Christian Wilkins. We've held running backs to 3.7 yards per carry, something like that. It's something around there.
Now.
3.6 now after last game. And our run defense has been incredible. Not against quarterbacks, but fortunately for us, Aaron Rodgers do not be running that bitch. So we just got to stop A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. I think our run defense is up to the task. Jalen Phillips has taken a tremendous step in his run defense, setting the edge, stuff like that, not just being a pass rusher. He really took pride in becoming a 3-down player this year, and I felt like he's done that. This run defense has been fantastic. Again, Christian Wilkins and Zach Sealer have been a huge part of that. A guy who doesn't get enough credit is Raekwon Davis, just for being the nose tackle in there and just sucking up tackles. Pause. But with that being said, I do think that that's our biggest positive.
Unpause.
I do think that that's our biggest positive. If you guys seem to be trying to be balanced, you passed it a lot more recently. I feel like I might be wrong, but it seems like you are still like running the ball a decent amount. A.J. Dillon's been going crazy these last 3 games. Aaron Jones obviously is a great running back. So the fact that we might be able to shut down probably your 2 best skill position players as of this moment. I think Christian Watson might take a step at some point, but for now, A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones are definitely your best offensive weapons. The fact that our defense kind of matches up kind of perfectly with that, with the run game in terms of run defense, I think it's a huge positive heading into this game.
No, absolutely. And there is no problem about it. Those are our 2 best skill position players. they are absolutely.
I don't want to disrespect nobody. Randall Cobb's a legend. You know what I'm saying? Like
a legend. Let's not go crazy now. But I mean, I think the one person that would be I put them above Aaron Rodgers at this point in terms of just being better players, because he hasn't been great this year at all. Here's an interesting stat. Did you guys know that the Dolphins score and give up the same amount of points per game? Y'all average 24.6 points per game, and y'all give up 24.6 points per game. That is balance if I've ever seen it.
Complimentary football. Woo!
No, all 3 phases, baby. That's what y'all doing out here.
Well, so 2 out of 3 phases because our special teams is dog shit.
Oh my God.
Hey, get off my dog, Jason Sanders. Boy has kind of seen a resurgence a little bit.
I'm not even talking about Jason Sanders. I mean,
he's back.
Yeah, he's back, baby. We gotta give him.
I wasn't even referring to Jason Sanders. He deserves a slander on the side, but it's every other aspect of the special teams, from the tackling and special teams to these people just being straight dumbasses, and then us on the returning side of the ball. We don't do shit, but fair catch.
Well, and then Cedric Wilson didn't play, so he wasn't back there.
Mike McDaniel said, "You want Cedric Wilson involved? Bet." He said,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy. So I do want to flip that question on its head. What is the biggest concern that you guys? What is Green Bay's biggest advantage versus the Dolphins? coming up this weekend, and we're gonna start with 416 this time, and I do mean 416.
This one's tough because I was trying to think and I'm not even trying to diss y'all, but it's just like I feel like we do have good matchups against you in terms of like I feel like it's a good matchup in terms of like our run defense, all that type of stuff. I do think your defensive line might cause our offensive line some problems, even though our offensive line has played really well as of late. I really respect your defensive side of the ball. The thing is, offensively, like I don't want to say like Rodgers and the receivers, even though our corners are out, but like that hasn't been your bread and butter this year at all. As you just said, Rodgers has not been his best. So I'll just go with the defensive line.
Washed. That's what the fuck he looked like.
So I'll just go with the defensive line. I don't want to disrespect him like that, but yeah, he's a little washed right now. So I'll go with the defensive line against our offensive line because if you disrupt our offensive line, it seems like our whole offense kind of gets out of rhythm. And we've talked about this before with Tua, then it seems like he struggles a little bit more, at least than what he was when he's clean and he can just be in rhythm because that's when he's at an elite level. So if your defensive line can really disrupt us and help your corners not to cover for that long against the two of the best receivers, I think that's a huge kind of concern for me, at least going into this game, is if the offensive line is going to hold up.
No, for sure. JV, I saw you kind of tip your hand a little bit. What's Green Bay's biggest advantage over the Dolphins?
Bro, just pass that bitch 70 times. Don't even run the ball. Yeah, just straight. Check downs will be your runs. the check down will set up the deep shot. Hey, at the end of the day, you got Aaron Rodgers, man. That man knows football just better than almost anybody in the NFL. He against the Dolphins, as Nando said, he's gonna know how to pick us apart. So I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of checkdowns, more than you're accustomed to as a Packers fan, Royal. And I mean, you guys might try to run the ball. I don't think you're gonna get shit out of the ground game, but checkdowns and pass, bro. Just pass the ball 1,000 times against the Dolphins, and I promise you will be successful. Zach Wilson was successful against the Miami Dolphins. If he was successful, any motherfucker in the NFL can be successful against the Dolphins passing the ball.
I want to toot my own horn, unpause again. I called Zach Wilson a bust the second he was drafted. Like, that boy is garbage. You hear me?
Yeah.
Is he the worst quarterback in the league?
Bro, he's up there, and he had 300 yards. But if anybody watched that damn game, he played like shit.
Every game he plays like shit. Nando, let's come to you. What's Green Bay's biggest advantage versus the Dolphins?
Just attack the DBs, man. It don't even matter if it's Xavien. It don't matter if it's Kohu. It don't matter who it is, bro. Aaron Rodgers is smart enough to know, and I think he's going to do it. Can he make those throws? Like you said, that's the question mark, but he's damn sure going to try, and he's going to be aware of that. And I think that's what he's going to be looking at. So over in receiving yards for pretty much anybody. And Watson is obviously, if X is guarding him, X can't keep up with him. I have trouble like believing that our team can stop speedy receivers, and Watson got some wheels. So can Rodgers hit him? That's the question. But I think that's the recipe to beating us. Just attack the DBs, throw it 40 damn times, have some fun, Aaron Rodgers. That's how the Packers take advantage.
I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of crazy when I first heard the phrase "Can he hit them?" I did not think that we were talking about Aaron Rodgers. Like, I thought that, like, of the two quarterbacks in this game, can he make the throw? Wasn't the thing that I was worried about going to with Aaron Rodgers.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have thought? Who would have thought? But I mean, that is one of the questions. Like, can he actually hit the receivers today? I don't really know what else much to talk about this game because I don't have very much optimism. I think the Dolphins are going to beat them handily. Like, I just do. Because I don't think that our defense is going to be able to, like, our defense is solid, but like you guys alluded to, like, we give up so many fucking rushing yards that we're going to have those linebackers coming down, and then y'all will be able to get what y'all want over the middle. Offense might look like it did in those earlier games with Tua was in the MVP conversation. I also think it's crazy how Tua dropped out of the MVP conversation in 1 week. Like, that was
going to be my question. So, like, when did these players and coaches vote? Because they didn't vote just this last week because they have to get the votes in and calculate them. So they must have voted, like, after the 49ers game 1 week, and they fucking said, nah, fuck it, he's not him.
That's
like, damn.
That's crazy.
I think that speaks to the skepticism of Tua before the season, though. Like, it's kind of like, It's like, is the overwhelming perception that the games that Tua was playing well were the flukes, and these last 3 games?
But he's playing elite. It's like not that he just played good. Like other quarterbacks are not playing that good.
But
against those teams.
But then also that 49ers game was fucking horrific.
Yeah, it was fucking horrible.
Like
oh my god.
It wasn't just, you know what I mean, playing the best defense.
There's no defending that.
Yeah, it was like you're missing receivers
and the
on wide open throws too. So it's like and I think that's kind of what's happening with the voting. Is it like which Tua do they believe is closer to the real Tua? And I think with the voting, you see that they believe that these last 3 games are closer to what Tua, or maybe even the San Francisco game, is closer to what Tua really is.
Yeah.
Agreed,
I personally don't give a fuck about the Pro Bowl. That's the least of my concerns.
He's not going to be playing in it anyways.
That I want a playoff win at minimum. I can give a fuck about the Pro Bowl. I really can care less if Tua never makes the Pro Bowl. That's the least of my worries.
Nah, that don't do it for your argument of him versus Herbert, though. He needs some. Look, one thing, you don't have to give a fuck. Oh my God. Shout out to my wife. We are going to the Super Bowl every single year. That is the type of Dolphins fan. That is the type of Dolphins fan my wife is and has been since the day that I met her. And I've always thought she was nuts, still do. But you know what I mean? I married her. But yeah, and I think that's kind of, I don't know, like, what do you weigh in on that, Nando? Like the people's voting are obviously saying that they think Tua is closer to what they've seen recently as opposed to what they've seen earlier.
I think it's crazy, honestly, man. How the hell is somebody at the top of an MVP candidate for so long, and then he just doesn't make the Pro Bowl? It just doesn't make any sense to me, man. Like, regardless if he had 1 bad game, 2 bad games, I think there's far more better games that he's proven and the stats that he's put out there to net him a Pro Bowl opportunity. And honestly, like, I know it doesn't mean a lot to me. Like, I don't care. Like, I just want to see my team get W's at the end of the day. Same thing with MVP. Like, the fact that my quarterback is a candidate, like that's cool with me, man. That's all for them, you know. Like, that's an award.
He even dropped out of that too, though. Like,
yeah, he did.
He dropped out of running for the MVP.
He did.
Who's the third quarterback? It's Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, and who the hell's the third quarterback?
Jalen Hurts, I believe. Before this,
Jalen Hurts, NFC.
No, but Jalen Hurts is the NFC.
Yeah.
Who's the third in the AFC?
Would it be Joe Burrow?
Maybe.
Okay, then I can't argue against it.
But this Pro Bowl thing is still in Hawaii, right? If it is, like, I think it is. I feel like that shit means a lot to him, so I kind of feel bad. That's my take on it. I feel bad. I feel like he deserves it.
Those three quarterbacks are better than Tua in every way, shape, or form. So I mean, as much as a Tua fan as I am,
but the Pro Bowl isn't about whether or not you're a better. The Pro Bowl isn't about whether or not you're a better player. Yeah, he's better than Tua. But the Pro Bowl isn't about whether or not you're a better player. It's who's having the better season. And I think with Tua, like, I think it means more to him than it would any fan. But it also is like, I'm having the best fucking season of my career right now. And I'm talking about, like, it's an elite season.
Bro was in the MVP race 2 weeks ago. It's number 2.
And that's kind of what it is. It's like, you don't think 416, you don't think that's gonna hurt? Like, it's like, I'm having the best season of my career. I'm still not getting voted into the Pro Bowl. Like,
I hope it's fuel. I hope it's motivation.
Sure. He'll probably still make it, man. One of those quarterbacks is going to be in the Super Bowl, and they won't participate in the Pro Bowl, and they're going to have to get replaced. So
yeah, but are they going to replace them with Tua, or are they going to go to Herbert?
It depends on how the season finishes off, but there's no logical explanation.
I don't think it does. Because if they're voting based off of the way the season went, Tua should be in the Pro Bowl right now.
Facts.
I still put Joe Burrow over Tua personally, and I would still put Patrick Mahomes over him. On this season, I would still put both of them over Tua.
I think the argument is
it's
Joe Burrow.
Tua. That's the argument.
Josh Allen.
No, I think Joe Burrow is having a better season. He just had 1 bad game at the beginning of the year, but he's having a better season. He's been consistent throughout these past fucking 8 weeks. He's balling.
Tyreek Hill's like having a career high season too. Like, that's because of Tua.
So is Jaylen Waddle, bro.
And Jaylen Waddle.
But see, that's another thing. I think my argument for Tua
that one is more crazy.
The Waddle one is more egregious. That is more egregious. But I think that's my argument for Tua is the same as it is for Waddle. Like, it's kind of like, I'm having a career year right now, and it's not like just some run-of-the-mill career year. It's putting me in ranks with the best in the league, and I'm not getting voted into the Pro Bowl over guys with, I guess, better names. Like, it's just the Jamar Chase shit. I'm a Jamar Chase guy. I like Jamar Chase, but that shit is outrageous. Anything else that y'all wanted to get to about this Green Bay game before we get into predictions and start wrapping this shit up?
Let's get score predictions, baby.
Okay, so let's do it. We're gonna start with you since you were so eager to jump out there. Give me your score predictions for this game.
All right, so I'm thinking Tua throwing 3 tutties, so that's where I'm at, and I think we'll run for a 4th one. So I'm gonna go 31. We'll give Sanders a little field goal. I'm going 31-24 for the Miami Dolphins.
31-24 Miami Dolphins. Okay. We're gonna let JMV round us out. So Nando, we coming to you.
I got the same thing as well. I think Tua does score. I hate to be on the same exact score, but I actually had the same exact score even before you went. 31-24 is what I got. 3 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. Nailed it on the head. I think it's going to be a close one. It's going to be stressful, but I think a late touchdown pulls us through and we win at the end.
Okay.
He's so unoriginal.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, hey, the hive mind going on down there on the bottom row. JMV, what you got going? What you got the score being for this game?
I actually got Green Bay scoring 28, but they both had the same exact score I had for the Dolphins, 31-28. 4 touchdowns, I think 2 and 2, 2 through the air, 2 on the ground, and then a field goal.
It's not going to be easy, man. Okay. It's gonna be a tough one. We're gonna be.
Our defense is the worst in the NFL, bro. Green Bay is
bro. We thought we were gonna like go crazy against the Lions and Bears. Them shits were 3-point games. So,
listen, I disagree with y'all. I think the Dolphins are gonna blow Green Bay ass out. Like, and I'm talking like 35-14 or some shit like that. Like,
that'd be great.
Damn.
That'd be fucking great.
I do not trust this offense, bro. I don't trust them.
Have the first
that would be our only
free game.
That'd be the second one. The only other one was Texans. And
Texans stressed the shit out of me. I saw Tua's back almost get snapped in half.
I also think Tua has a cleaner game. Like, I think this is going to be kind of like a comeback game for Tua, where it's like he looks a lot more like
he's back at home.
Yeah, during the MVP shit on Christmas. I think he ruining my Christmas, bro. Like, and I think
I need 30 fantasy points because I'm in the second round of the playoffs from Tua, and give me 25 for Waddle.
You know what's crazy? 2 on the bench. I'm going against a guy who is Jaylen Hurts, but he's injured, and guess who he has on his bench? Tua. And he's going up against me. I'm like, are you fucking kidding? I'm like the biggest fan. They know that. Oh man.
Like, I'm expecting a big game from Tua. I'm expecting this to kind of like right the ship in terms of the way that he's played. It doesn't mean that I believe that these last 3 games are without merit and that people shouldn't take anything away or any criticisms away from Tua's game because of them. I'm just saying that, like, I'm more prone to believe that even though I believe that it's even, I think he's a little bit closer to what we saw in the middle of the season than we have seen these last 3 games. Whereas, like, if he can get shit on script, if he can get it accurate, if receivers catch the fucking ball, then, I mean, it's going to be hard to stop them. And I don't think Green Bay has the horses to be able to stop the Dolphins. So, we'll see. We'll be back on Sunday with the post-game show. And I'll be hosting that shit again too.
Shout out to
Don't
you,
worry
Roy.
about it. Yeah, hey bro, listen.
You're a real one.
Our team needed, you know what I mean, a little Herculean effort. The boy gonna come through for the Dolphins side too. So thank you guys in the comments for joining the show, making it much more fun than it would have been without you. Thank you to my guys, JMV 416 and Nando for joining the panel. We'll see you motherfuckers next time. Oh, I'm the producer too. Wait, let me get to the video. Play the video, me.